If Jesus was on earth today, I wonder how he would vote in the upcoming 2020 election. I don't know, but I know someone who has an opinion. In fact, this dude always has an opinion. Let's hear it. Roll the tape. I ain't got no cigarettes. I ain't got no cigarettes, no.
Excuse me, sir.
What do you want, mister? What do you want, doctor?
I'm not sure if I should even vote. My vote doesn't even make a difference anyway. But as a Christian man, I was wondering, how would Jesus vote in 2020?
Listen here, Sonny. The name is Booker Thomas, but you can call me BT. What are you talking about, doctor? What are you talking about, mister? This is the most important election in the history of this country. I know I don't look it, but I was born during the Great Depression. Good Christ told Moses, man. Have you ever seen a world in the shape that's in today? Look at the evil, the hatred, the murder, the social discord, the economic depression, and yes, of course, the coronavirus. This world is a hot mess. Listen, Sonny, too many people have died and sacrificed much just so you can have the right to vote. It is your civil duty and responsibility to vote, man. Vote! Vote, I say, vote! Now to your question, Sonny. How would Jesus vote in the 2020 election? Well, first of all, he'd probably get rid of 80% of the politicians because most of them aren't worth two dead flies. And he'd probably put himself in charge. But short of that, here's what I think he'd do. Well, we got three candidates: Donald J. Trump, Joe Biden, and Kanye West. Well, let's forget about that Kanye West. Well, I don't think Jesus was a Republican, a Democrat, an Independent, or a Tea Partier. I think he would select the person who most represented himself when he was here. What am I talking about, mister? I'm talking about the fruits of the Spirit. Which one of these candidates best represents love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control? No. Wait a minute. I know no man's perfect, but there should be evidence of fruits of the Spirit in that person's life. Now, for you geniuses out there who are saying, we're not hiring a pastor-in-chief, but rather a commander-in-chief, I got news for you, doctor. How can a person govern effectively without having God in their life? Think about it. All the decisions they make will affect the masses. That means white people, black people, brown people, rich people, poor people, and everybody in between. How can they govern effectively if they do not know the Lord? If we are to have a chance at heaven here on earth, we have to elect someone who is for the people, all people. Listen here, Sonny, there's plenty of videotape and recorded history on both Donald J. Trump and Joe Biden. I suggest you do your research. That way you can evaluate their spiritual fruit. Hello, my friends. This is Daniel Talley, the Little Stuff Guy, coming at you. I hope everyone is doing well. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome, and thank you so much for spending time with me today. So, let me explain to you what the Note to Self Guy's channel is really all about. What I do in skit form is that I act out a problem, a situation, or a sin, and sometimes they're all three. And then I come to you as a Note to Self Guy, and I give scriptural references as to how you can solve that problem, situation, and or sin. So, in effect, what I'm doing is that I am showing the world that the Bible, that is, God's manual for living for mankind, has answers to all of life's problems. All we have to do is to simply open up the good book, read it, and apply God's answers to our lives. And certainly, if you like what you're seeing today, please feel free to leave a comment. Please feel free to share this video and even give it a thumbs up, because that makes me feel great when you give it a thumbs up.
And why should you consider subscribing to the channel? Well, if you're interested in receiving positive, inspiring, entertaining messages, then this is the channel for you. New episodes air every Sunday and Wednesday.
You know, I have to agree with BT. This presidential election is critical to the success of our nation. Sometimes I feel like I'm on an episode of The Twilight Zone, but then I watch the news and realize, nah, brother man, this is real life.
Caesar's, they replied. Then he said to them, so give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. Matthew chapter 22, verse 21.
Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, For there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. For there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Romans 13:1.
In other words, we have to pay taxes, and we are governed by the government. God has ordained human government. Also, since we are a democracy, that gives us the right to vote, and we should exercise that right.
My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. John chapter 10, verse 27.
Now, since we're governed by the government, doesn't it make sense to vote for leaders who have a strong relationship with God? When you go to the ballot box, don't forget to take Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6 with you.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6.
Good Christ told Moses, man, it is impossible to govern a nation without God's guidance and a good moral compass. The great Maya Angelou once said, when people show you who they are, believe them. Again, examine their spiritual fruit and pray before you go to the ballot box. Remember, doctor, prayer is a direct line from your mouth to God's ear. Now get out there and rock the vote. Do it, mister.